You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Gaming, and study on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Kingsguard, Kashiro's Path. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go! Alrighty. You possess a power unlike anything I've ever seen. Even I do not understand it. Such might, such will. What are you talking about? I have seen it. Something I thought wasn't possible. A truth. A world. Just one. Just one where my people, our village, just may survive. See, I knew there was a way. Tell me, what do we have to do? The shaman just shook her head. Even though I have been granted this vision, it does not mean I know everything. All I saw was the ruins of our village, but we were still standing. I can't tell you how we survived, just that we did. Because of me? I can't really see how I would have a part to play in any of this. I mean, I can barely defend myself. Yet you are at the center of this all. Who knows what you could have done to save our village? What I do know now is that the decisions you make will affect the outcome of our future. But if you aren't careful, then we may slip back down the path of destruction. So this village's survival depends on me? Aren't you asking for a bit much? I already have to watch after this blade and save myself from these assassins who are after my life. But now I have also to do something about saving this village? When I was crowned as a king, I wasn't expecting this kind of responsibility. Well, I mean, if you're crowned as a fucking king, you're gonna have a lot of responsibility, dipshit. You are more than just a king. The gods. Your gods? He didn't mean to be too sarcastic, but everything was becoming way too blown out of proportion. No. The ones who have given you your power. They have deemed you worthy of something great and have plans for you. And you know this how? Because it has already been foretold. Of course. Whether or not you want to believe it is up to you. From here on now, you will be facing many more trials and tribulations. You and Kashiro. If you had a tail, you could have felt it perk up. Kashiro's name seemed to be taboo around here, yet she said it without falling back to a degrading substitute. Kashiro too? The paths you have taken have linked the two of you together, bound by a string of fate that you created, a strand that cannot be broken. I'm assuming you saw this as well in a vision. You are catching on quickly. I'm starting to think you know everything and just aren't telling me. If only I did know everything. The shaman quickly went into distress, having a violent coughing storm. He once again tried to go to her side to help, but she put up a hand up as if to say that she was alright. I seem to have pushed myself. That evil took more out of me than I thought. If only I was 100 years younger. 100? You really are old! Your eyes went wide suddenly. You thought you had said that in your head, but it just popped out. But rather than being offended, the shaman's smile returned. I do not look it, do I? No. Well, I do not look my age. I can assure you that time has taken its toll on my body. I'm not sure whether I can consider this a blessing or a curse. To be honest, when I first saw you, I believed you would have been a frail old woman. But your face... I have to say, for a beast man, at your age, you really do look good. Such flattery. I haven't been told that in many years now. Not since Richard. He was the last man to see my face, to see what I really looked like under the mask. You said that Richard was the High Priest earlier, didn't you? I've been wondering how you know him. That is, if you were still okay to talk. I don't want to push you. I'm weary, but I suppose I could shed a few more words while we have the time. We met many years ago, back before your father rose to power as king. I had a vision. You smiled lightly and stifled a chuckle. It was about your birth. Her smirk quickly dropped as the shaman gave you the eye, but you could see that she too was smiling. You opened your mouth to speak, but decided to just stay quiet, as she was likely to answer your question. I had to get to the castle as this was urgent. There I was, taken to the waters below the castle and soaked in its radiance. I saw many things, too many for me to understand or remember, but the one that stuck with me most was what was of you and of a woman. When my vision was done, I was helped out of the pool by a young man, an apostle. Richard was his name, but unlike the others, he was far more brash than the others. He entered the sanctum despite the current high priest's orders. I was taken aback. No one had seen my face for over 100 years, and you know what the first words you said to me were? You're beautiful? Once more the shaman went into a storm of coughs, but settled down after a few moments. If only. He asked if I had a dream of a baby and a woman. Oh, You could feel your face grow red. He was more concerned with what I had seen than the labored breaths from my exhaustion. Yet The shaman slightly smiled and turned her head down. After I was helped out of the waters, I went to see your grandfather and spoke with him about what I had seen. Your father, the person he would meet, and where she was when she became of age. You were the one to set up my father with my mother? Yes, although your grandfather did his best to try to find her. It was your father who ended up meeting her on his own. It was one of many signs that I knew that fate would always find a way. I suppose until you. And the priest. Well before I left, he had actually asked me out to view the city in the evening. It was a life-changing experience for me. I wanted to stay behind. But I knew that I had to return to my village, and while he begged to come with me, I couldn't allow him to. For there was another vision that I saw. The priest kept her eyes away from you, staring off into space as her voice hushed into a whisper. Tell me, did he suffer? Finishing up this coffee. What? You were with him in his final moments, were you not? How did you know that? Because what I saw was his death. And you. I knew that you would be there. The haunting image of him keeping the flame of his life going for just a bit longer, just long enough to speak to you, was still etched deep into your memory. There was something so ominous, so deeply forlorn watching someone die in your arms like that, even more so that you could do nothing to save him. I tried to save him, but there wasn't much you could do. His time was already up. Fate had come to claim him. What? I apologize. That was not an appropriate question to ask you. I already knew the answer. I've known for such a long time now. He was bound to an inescapable destiny, but at least he died with someone at his side. I wish we could have enjoyed one last cup of tea together. The priest sighed and wiped a tear out of the corner of her eye. Her sadness was brief, but as she turned to you with an exhausted look on her face. I suppose this is where we should stop. I wish we had more time to talk. I understand. You really should get some rest. You can tell me more tomorrow. After all, I'm staying here under this village's protection now. The shaman's eyes shied away from you for a moment. What? It is nothing. You're hiding something from me, aren't you? You will learn in due time why it is best to be kept in the dark. I'm a firm believer in knowledge, and I know the power it holds, but I won't push you to speak in your condition. The priest got up delicately, and you followed her towards the door, which creaked open as you came closer. Just before you left, you turned around. Thank you for everything you have shown and told me. I think I might be a bit more confused, but at least I have some answers at the very least. I have waited for a very long time to tell you of the knowledge that I hold. There's one last thing that I must tell you. See this as a warning, something that may happen very soon. You stood at attention, were all ears. My latest vision was hazy, but you will meet with someone who is not who they seem. They hold a dark power, one few in this world wield, a deadly one that has ended many lives but has given it strength. Quite similar to that blade of yours. You must be careful of them. What does he look like? There is no face that I saw, just shrouded in shadow. You must avoid him at all costs if you value your life. Look out for one with teeth. They all have fucking teeth! Look out for one with teeth. Teeth? Everyone has teeth! That is all I saw. But remember, you must not use that blade. Goodbye, young king. I wish you luck on your journey. Is she talking about the shark? With a light push, you were expelled from the building out into the blinding sun. Before you had a chance to say goodbye yourself, the door was already closing shut behind you. As you rose a fist to knock, hoping to get one last word, you stopped and stared at the nearby apostles. They were still around, and as you looked down towards the floor, there was Kashiro, still kneeling in the same position as when you left. Had he been in that position the entire time you were in there? It's been an hour at the least. The amount of diligence this fox had was truly remarkable. You could see why he had so much patience with your father and the people of this village. If that were you, you would have to stop for a break and stretch not longer than several minutes in. You dropped your hand and walked towards Kashiro. Hey, Kashiro, sorry about the wait. Kashiro got on his feet and stretched. You swear you must have heard his entire back pop into place. Were you really kneeling this entire time I was in there? Kashiro? The fox turned towards the apostles, gave a quick bow, then took your arm in tow and guided you away. Hey, Kashiro? Look, I'm really sorry I was gone for so long. Are you mad at me? No. The fox's voice was a whisper, so light that even the breeze was louder. Then why aren't you speaking to me? Not here. Despite being far enough away from earshot of the two apostles, Kashiro still kept his voice low. You couldn't think of a reason why he was being so silent. Was it a sin to talk here? As you approached the red gate once more and passed through, the feeling of being watched, of a heavy blanket pressuring you down, lifted. Kashiro let go over your arm and quickly bowed low. I'm sorry, Jake. I should have said something earlier before we entered. Those who aren't invited into the temple must never speak unless otherwise spoken to by the elder. It is out of respect for the gods. Oh, I really thought you were mad at me. Why would I be? Because I was in there for such a long time. I guess you might have thought I would have forgotten about you. Do not be that concerned for me. If you ordered me to, I would kneel for 1,000 years and never utter a word. That would be going too far. Still, I should have said something. It must have hurt being in that position for so long. It wasn't that long. You were only gone for a few minutes. A few minutes? I was in there for at least an hour. Has it really only been a few minutes? I do not keep count, but the position of the sun hasn't moved much since we arrived. I wonder. You stared back at the temple. A similar thing happened when you were in the pool of light. Time seemed to have progressed differently. You were in the pool for maybe 10 minutes. It didn't feel that long at all, despite the strange dreams of visions that you had. Yet when you came out, hours had passed. There must have been an explanation to all this, but you too were a bit tired from the whole ordeal that you didn't want to think too much of it. Perhaps it would be another question that the shaman could answer when you met with her again. Well, now that you have met with the shaman, what did you think? She wasn't as crazy as I first thought. Well, still a bit weird, but I suppose not insane. But you'll never guess what happened. She took me further into the... Second, Neil? Jake! Huh? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but would you mind if we first entered back into the village? I'm still not welcome here. Kashiro had a look to his face that he was cowering. He was difficult to notice, but his tail and ears had a bit of a droop to them. The shaman's words about being invited ringed in your ears. You turned back around and looked at the red gate that stood imposingly before you. Jake? Give me just 1 second. You walked forth, taking another step back through the gate. Once more the strange presence about this place hit you, though with the force of a runaway wagon. You nearly fell to your knees as the disorienting wave rolled through your entire body. You felt sick to your stomach and accompanied by a splitting headache. You could barely take any more as you retreated from the temple, and all at once the symptoms stopped. Kashiro was quick to offer a hand as you were still trying to recover from the feeling. Jake, are you all right? Yeah, I just need to rest. Kashiro helped you sit down in rustic steps until you caught your breath. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon or YouTube memberships if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!